What's up, guys? Scott here at Chernobyl Studios. Happy New Year. Welcome to my very first video of 2019. And we are finally going to look at, well, my version of the Fortin Nameless suite. So there's my quick demo using the Nameless suite. Before we actually jump into the main review, I do want to say this is a sponsored video, but it's not sponsored from Fortin. This video is actually sponsored by a subscriber and a recent client of mine, Mike, who is in the band Dreamhouse. Dreamhouse are a shoegaze kind of alternative rock band that I mixed. Really cool, very interesting stuff, and he sponsored this video by going ahead and picking up the plugin for me, so I am absolutely shouting him out because that's really awesome of him to want to sponsor by getting me the plugin so that I can make a video for everybody and give my thoughts about the Fortin Nameless suite. All of the links for the Dreamhouse band are in the description below. There's a Bandcamp, as we see here. They're on Spotify. They have Twitter. They are having a Facebook account set up soon and YouTube. But please check out this song here. This is one of my favorite songs of theirs. I had a lot of fun mixing and working on it. Give it a listen and leave a comment below saying thanks, Mike, because without him, this video would not be happening. So if you guys are not quite in the know yet, the Fortin Nameless suite by Neural DSP is actually a recreation of this Meshuggah amp right here for the price of $3,333.33. Now, they do have reviews here saying that it's not just for gent. This guy even says that it can make your 6-string guitar sound angrier. That is true, but however, if you really want to get the most out of this, I do believe that you're going to need to be playing at least a 7-string or at least drop tuning significantly to like drop B or drop A, because the aggression really comes out, and this amp really was created to accentuate the lower tunings. I played this in drop C sharp, which is because I'm actually in E flat standard right now, so I just dropped the 6-string to the C sharp note. So anyone who is into gent is definitely going to love this amp. Anyone who loves Marshall will also definitely love this amp because you can get that trademark Marshall sound with a lot of the mids already taken out of it by the mods and the amp itself. So let's actually jump into Reaper, open the plugin, and have a look at this thing. So starting with the grind pedal by Fortin. So the grind pedal is basically their version of a tube screamer. It rolls off the low end. You're going to have a tube screamer, sort of I guess the best way to call it would be a mid bump. And it brings out the definition of lower tuned guitars. You should not be surprised. Okay, so the more you crank this thing, the more definition of the low tuned guitar is going to come out in the sound of a glassy attack. The very aggressive, scratchy, high, glassy attack. That's what this pedal does. And that's accentuated the more you crank this thing. So the amp here looks pretty similar to what we were just looking at on the website, just minus the name Meshuggah for obvious reasons. Everything here is the same. Now, one of the things that you have to realize right off the bat is there are 2 gain knobs. The first gain here, you can pretty much just assume it works like your regular gain. Gain 2 is actually more of a tone shaping and also an extra gain, but it's not a gain like more power. It's a gain with more tone. So you can work with gain 2 and the grind pedal to come up with the tone that you like, because if you crank both of these, you're going to get an ultra glassy sound. And for lower tunes and lower tunings and for gent, this will probably what you're be going after. But if you're on a 6-string guitar and standard tuning, you will want that angry sound, but it's not going to take as much to get that really angry bite type of sound that you might be looking for. Now, you can even use the pull gain or the master volume control here to saturate the amp even more. So with all the gain options you have here, you can just take this thing into space by cranking this up. It'll totally saturate the signal. Lots of dirt, lots of noise, all the gain. Amazing. Presence, bass, middle, exactly what you would expect here. Now, these are not like, you move this a little tiny bit and boom, tone a bunch of extra basses. No, it's not like that. They're much more subtle. So you can really do big sweeping changes with the tone. And it's not going to be so drastic like where if you go like 4 to 6 here, it's the difference between none of the bass and then all of the bass. There's a nice range of bass and middle and treble to play with here. You can select between a high or a low input, and it's exactly what it sounds like. The high just has a more aggressive, high sound, and the low is more subdued, a bit more smooth. Might be what you're going for if you don't want that ultra high, glassy, aggressive bite, if you're in a higher tuning on a 6-string guitar, for example. Moving on to the cabinet simulation section, really awesome. Now, doing some work online, I did find out that the speakers are a 70-watt Mesa Custom with B30s in them. You have a wide variety of microphones to use. You can even load your own IR file. I'm pretty certain that most of you guys understand already. You know, it's cabinet impulse responses. It's just that it's the what people would consider to be the best metal amp ever, which not the metal cabinet is what I mean. The speaker being the 70-watt Mesa Custom. Now you can blend tones as I'm doing here, or you can do one at a time if you want. Now, if you want to, for example, have a stereo mode, you would just turn on this here. Now, the interesting thing about stereo mode is it doesn't work quite the way that you're thinking. You can still run the plugin once on a bus, for example, send 2 DI tracks to it, and they'll both play left and right. But you're kind of stuck with this side being left or this side being right, and that's it. You won't have both of the microphones in one channel. You would have one microphone per channel, so you would still end up having to double it all up anyway. So it sort of, in my opinion, defeats the purpose. So just run the run the plugin on both instances of your DIs or whatever. But I really had a lot of luck just with the 57 here. Coming over here, actually not really on the cone, but on the cap. Coming over here to the cone, just to the outside, it really was a sweet spot. It sounded really, really good. And then I experimented with the MD421 or the Ribbon, whatever, the Royer or the Ribbon 121. I experimented between these two, and I found a blend that I really like. It's very easy to blend because you can just adjust the mic level right here. Very easy. The distance. You can just pull these, and you can move them however you want, position, all that stuff. Really, really awesome plugin, and that's it. This is the Nameless suite. You get the grind pedal, you get the awesome Meshuggah Marshall Plexi amp, and a high quality set of cabinet impulses. But like I said, you can still load your own if you want to. So you're not losing anything here. Now, it feels like this review should be longer, but really that's it. I mean, this is it. It's some people might call this a one-trick pony because it's like the Gent amp, but I played this in standard E, E flat, drop C sharp, and drop A, and I was able to find tones that I liked in all the tunings. I should say, however, it was infinitely easier and faster for me to do it with a drop drop A tuning, because the low tunings and the grind pedal, they really found a way to make low tunings, the attack and everything, really cut through and sound amazing. So you will find yourself dialing down a lot if you're going to use standard E or 6-string guitars with like a light gauge strings. You're going to really find that you're not really going to need all the gain here that is already cranked out to be from the very beginning. So this is the plugin right here. Let's go ahead and actually look at what I did for processing wise, because I tried to stay as raw as possible as I could to keep this as, to prove to you guys that the way that you see it, how it comes out of the box, is really sounds like it does, and you don't have to do a lot of work to it. Let's go ahead and click here. So I'm going to go ahead and actually solo the guitars. Let's go ahead and listen to them. So these are just the guitars. extremely aggressive, very bright, it has a lot of attack, a lot of bite. But that glassy sound, it's not as prevalent as it would be if I was in a lower tuning or, for example, playing my 7-string guitar. That being said, the first thing I did was just the standard thing that I always do, which would be my low pass and my high pass stuff. And I opted to do as little as possible as I could. So keeping this soloed, let's go ahead and go between the EQ. And that is all the AQ I have done. Now, the two biggest offenders here were this 700 hertz and this 4K, which is not surprising. It's a guitar amp simulator. The 4K is pretty much something you're always going to have to work with. These were the first two moves I made. And then these two were based on, this one was based on the mix being a little bit muddy with the bass. And these two were still just things that were annoying me that I was hearing over and over, so I took care of them. And that's all I did for EQ. I did nothing else. Nothing. I have my standard multi-band compressor here to make sure the low mids are staying in control with the palm muting. And I have a compressor just bringing out the dynamics, crushing the dynamics a little bit, and also helping clamp down on the low palm mutes. It takes about 3 dB of gain reduction. That's all. That's it. And then L1, which acts as a limiter, as we all know, and bringing it down in the mix so that's not so loud. That's all I did. Literally. That's all I did. And the bass here is the colossal bass. I did very minimal stuff to it. Just the standard stuff that I always do. And that's really all there is to it, guys. The Fortin Amp Simulator, is it worth it? Well, considering that the amp that it's modeled after is $3,400, I would say it's definitely worth it because you're going to pay $120 versus $3,400. If you're into Marshalls, you're into that plexi sound, you're into gent, you love low tunings, you're struggling to get a sound that's aggressive, has bite, but still has that high-end presence, thickness, then this might be something you might want to get into. Just the only thing that I would say really is that it's the Marshall sound. It's the Marshall plexi sound. You're not going to get any other thing. You're not going to get anything else other than this sound. It's all the range of Marshalls. That's it. You're not going to get like a PB sound out of this. You won't get a Mesa dual rec out of this. It's the Marshall sound, and it's modded and specially created for Meshuggah. If you don't like the Meshuggah guitar tone, you're probably not going to find too much in this plugin that you want to work with. If you love Meshuggah and you love the guitar tone, this would be a great step to start finding your own voice using their gear, basically. That said, I do not think you are in danger of becoming a Meshuggah copy or a clone. It's sufficiently, I don't want to say complicated. There are sufficient amount of options here and ways that you can find a tone where you will be able to find your own voice. For example, this sound is a very aggressive, thrashy type sound. Very chuggy, very thrashy. When I was playing this, it actually reminded me of some old 80s stuff. Just thrashy, you know? So if you're into the Marshall sound, you're into Meshuggah, you want to try this, it's definitely worth the $120. It's got a gate here. You're going to need it. The only other thing that I think that they could improve on eventually at some point would be to, I don't know, maybe to include a chorus or a delay or some reverb plugins. But as I say, this thing is built for rhythm guitar. That's it. This is the rhythm guitar monster for Marshall lovers. So there's that. All right, guys, that's going to do it for this video. Once again, big thank you to Mike. And please, guys, leave a comment below. Thank you, Mike, because without him sponsoring this video by getting the plugin, this video would never have happened. So give Mike a thank you. Go to his Bandcamp page here. Give the song a listen. Leave a comment for him. Support him if you want, if you like the music. And yeah, thanks a lot, Mike. You're awesome. Thanks a lot, guys, for checking out the video. If you liked it, please hit the like button, subscribe. I really would like to hit 550 subscribers by the end of the month. So share the video if it was helpful for you. Leave a comment below, like, and subscribe. I'm also on Instagram here. I am posting more and more as I just looked at this picture. I'm posting more and more to be more active with you guys, to show you guys who I am outside of when I'm just working on music. Again, I would really like to try and get 205,000, 2,500, not dyslexic at all, 2,500 followers by the end of the month. So please help me out if you could do that. And then obviously on Facebook, I am here. All my posts, all my videos, everything I do, I post through Facebook. I am nearing 600. Man, I would be so thrilled if I could try to get even like 700 likes, 600 likes by the end of this month. That would be awesome. Please, guys, like me on all of these social medias. Follow me. Stay updated on what I'm doing. And please leave a comment. Let me know what kind of content you would like to see. And once again, thanks a lot, guys. I'll see you soon. Have a good one.